How you doing, man? I'm Curtis.
Adam.
Adam, how you doing, man? Curtis.
Brendan.
Good to meet you, man. What's your name? Good to meet you. Good to meet you. How you doing? Curtis, what's up, buddy? We meet again. How you doing, man? How you doing? Good to meet you, bro. Good to meet you, bro. Good. I'm doing good. Doing real good. So, guys, Steve asked me to come in and talk to you guys a little bit just to give you some inspiration. So I was thinking about this. I'm like, what can I say to you guys that I don't even know that would give you any kind of inspiration? And the only thing I really tell you is I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my story, okay? And hopefully, you know, somebody this will relate to some of you guys. And my goal by telling you this story is to let you guys know that just because this is where you started and whatever position you're in, I don't know, you're all going to be at a different spot. But whatever position you're in doesn't mean that's where it has to stay, and that's where it ends. And it doesn't matter how old you are, because the last time I had to start over again was at 40. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my story, and I'm hoping to inspire some of you guys, give you guys some hope, some drive, and let you know that everything's available to you if you want it bad enough. If you want it bad enough, it's available to you, regardless of education, regardless of background. I've never spent a day in high school. Never went to high school. I have an 8th grade education. Okay. As far back as I can remember, my parents were drug addicts. Okay. I grew up in a drug addict family. If any of you guys have experienced that, you know what that's like. Okay. So we were homeless my entire childhood. And a lot of people say they're homeless, but they live with their grandma. No, I was like really fucking homeless. And my parents on welfare day would get money to get drugs. And when you got money to get drugs, somebody let you live in their house for a couple weeks. And then when the drugs ran out, you got to go, right? And as a kid, I don't know if any of you have ever lived in a drug addict house. I'm sure some of you have. You got fucking tweakers, people all over the place, lights on, stereos blaring, and me and my brother in the corner trying to sleep while there's a party going on for 2 weeks straight. Then when the dope would run out and we'd have to leave, a lot of the times we would sleep right across the street right there from Poverello House. Either put a tent out there, or my dad was a car thief. We'd have a stolen car. We'd sleep in the back seats across from Poverello House right there for 2 weeks until payday rolled around again. And when your parents are coming down, particularly my dad, you weren't even allowed to talk. So you had to sit in this back seat for 2 fucking weeks. You get up to go get the lunch. They give you a bag dinner, I believe, and you're back to the car. The only time I can get up and leave the car was to use the restroom. And that was a cycle for a long time. And that continued until we got to Motel Drive. And Motel Drive is a really shitty place for those of you that don't know what that is. But when you come from a fucking backseat of a stolen car, Motel Drive is pretty nice. Right? That was a pretty good spot. But shortly after we got a room there, my dad got caught for another GTA, and he caught 10 years. I was 13 years old. My mom was hooked on drugs. I can't go too details with my mom's scenario because her and I have a great relationship now, and I don't want her to see this video and make her feel any kind of way. But she was on drugs, and she went off and did her thing. So I'm there in a motel with my younger brother, who's 3 years younger than me. And I'm in this motel at the age of 13 and got it figured out. I met a buddy that was also stealing cars. And my dad was a car thief. I had stole a few cars with my dad. That's one thing he taught me how to do. So that's what I did. I started stealing cars. Okay. For 4 years, I stole cars to pay for that motel room. It was $125 a week to live in that motel room. I stole over 5,000 cars in this town right here to pay those bills. It became an addiction. It wasn't just to pay bills. It actually becomes an addiction just like anything else, right? My son was born in the motel. I had my son when I was 17. He came home to the motel. Right there on Motel Drive. It's not a fun place to be. But even back then, everybody that knew me knew that because I verbalized it constantly. I said, this stops with me. My son will not experience these things. He's not going to live this life. This stops with me. This cycle, because my dad, his family, they were all drug addicts, you know, and it was a cycle. And I'm like, this is where it stops. This won't continue for me forward. I didn't know how. I just knew it was. And I would tell people all the time, this stops with me. I'm going to be rich when I grow up. I'm going to figure out how to fucking get rich, and my son's not going to live this life. But I didn't know how. I didn't know how yet. I just kept saying it. I kept saying it. I would say it so much that people not only believed me, but they would tell other people to like, Curtis is going to be rich when he grows up. They believed me, which gave me another internal drive, because now, you know, a lot of people do things to prove people wrong. I continue to do things to prove people right. When people actually had faith in me and they believed in me, I'm like, I can't let that motherfucker down. He's actually believes me. So now I can't let him down, right? You guys all have somebody that believes in you, right? I don't care about the ones that don't believe in me, that want to see me fail. I don't care about proving them wrong, because to me, that's just negative energy. I'd rather prove the people that believe in me, I'd rather prove them right. And that continued to drive me, right? So now at the age of around 18-ish or so, a buddy of mine got a job driving truck, right? He becomes a truck driver. He starts making $1,000 a week. And I'm going in rapid speed for you guys to shorten the story up. And he's making $1,000 a week driving truck. And I thought that was fucking rich. I'm like, fuck, that's everything right there, right? At the time, an old man named Bob Papazian that took me under his wing for a couple years. From the age of 16 till about 19, I worked on the side for Bob. Now, Bob only paid me $4.25 an hour under the table, right? And he only worked me about 20 hours a week or so. So it wasn't enough to pay all the bills. So I'd work for him, and I'd still steal cars after work, right? But I worked for him for a few years, and he taught me a lot, right? But after I worked for him for a few years and I asked for a raise to $7, he's like, I can't help you out, Curtis. I'm like, fuck. So I went to an acquaintance I knew and asked him if I could borrow $3,000 to become a truck driver. And he loaned me the money. So I went and got my truck driving license, right? Now, this is supposed to take 8 weeks to get a truck driver license. But when you're a professional car thief, you learn to drive pretty good, right? So I passed this truck driving school in 11 days. I got this license in my hand. I go to the trucking companies. Nobody will hire me. Nobody will hire me. They want 2 years experience. Can't drive truck. I checked 3, 4 spots. I cannot get a job. I'm like, fuck, I quit my old job. I owe somebody $3,000, which might as well be $1 million. And I got no place to go. I see an ad in the paper. It says, drivers wanted, home every night, $500 a day. I'm like, hell yeah. I go there, and it's those guys that sell meat out of the back of a truck. You guys ever seen those guys? And I'm like, well, fuck, I need a job. I got to do something. Let's try it, right? So I start selling meat out of the back of a truck. It came very, very natural. And that's one thing, when you grow up in this environment, you learn social smarts that can't be taught in the school. You learn social ethics that can't be taught in school. It's you guys are actually learning life psychology 101. You just don't know it yet. You'll learn that later in life, how important these lessons are for you. But when it came to interacting with people where everyone else was so afraid just to approach somebody, I'm like, there's nothing scary about this. This is nothing, right? And it came very natural. And then I started selling meat out of this truck, started doing well, and I'm thinking, man, the drive was killing me. You're driving all over the place. You're spending hours a day driving to try to find people to buy meat. So I'm like, how do I find somewhere where I could sell people and they come to me? I went and applied at a car lot. They shot me down. First person said, I walked in, interviewed. They go, where's your suit? I don't even know what a fucking suit looks like. I'm like, I had my best clothes on. And he looked at me like I was like a fucking bum. He's like, you actually coming and applying here dressed like this? I'm like, yeah, it's actually my best shit, right? He's like, if you don't got a suit, we don't even interview. Okay. I went and applied one more place. I went across the street, applied there. What's the first fucking thing the guy says? He goes, you don't have a suit to wear to the interview? I'm like, oh, hell no, right? Now I'm already upset. I already got a chip on my shoulder. And I'm like, bro, if I could sell meat out of a truck dressed like this, why can't I sell a fucking car, right? Well, it turns out that triggered something in him and he gave me a shot. I get in the car business. I go in there, I bust my ass. I'm working because I'm starving. I'm still in a fucking motel that I'm trying to get out of. I'm working because I'm starving. And these guys haven't seen nobody work like this before. And I'm like, and I'd actually have other salesmen come to me and they're like, hey, you can slow it down. You don't have to do that much. I'm like, no, I can't slow it down, bro. My son's at home in a fucking motel. You might be in a different spot than I'm at. I'm not there. I'm not here to slow down, right? My first 2 weeks, I sold 11 cars, $5,100 check. I have never seen nothing like that in my life, right? My whole life changed right there. I'm like, this is my way out. I knew I was going to find a way out, but I didn't know what it was. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, here's my way out, right? So I start grinding. I am grinding. I'm grinding so much that I didn't even see my son for about a 4-year period because he would be in bed when I left and he'd be asleep when I got home. I'm working from 7 to 10 for about 5 years straight. During that 5 years, I'm grinding, right? Buddy of mine taught me how to buy houses. If you live at owner occupied, you can put 3.5% down and buy a home as an owner occupied, right? Back then, houses were 200 grand, 3.5%, that's like 7 grand. I could save that up in 3 or 4 months. I save up 3.5%, 3 or 4 months, I bought a house. I could do an owner occupied again as long as the next house is a little bit bigger or has another bedroom. So I saved up, I did it again. I saved up, I did it again. In 5 years' time, I ended up owning 7 houses. A car lot came for sale. I got 5 years in the car business now. I pulled some money out of these car lots, out of my houses, and I bought a car lot. In 2007, I bought my own lot, right? Life is good. Life is good. Life in the fast lane. I mean, it's moved so fucking fast. It's crazy, but I'm driven and I have the courage to take chances. I'm not afraid to fail because what's worst case scenario? Nothing's worse than what I came from. I've experienced the worst. So this allowed me to take risk and take chances that other people were not willing to take. So I just continued taking chances and they continued paying off for me. And this is why they say the A student usually works for the C student because the C student is more willing to take chances, right? And I'm continuing. I'm trucking down this road. I buy a car lot. For anybody most of you kids weren't even alive in 2007, 2008. But we had an economy crash that we'd never seen before. And everything that I had worked for and built that took me 6 years to this point, I lost everything inside 12 months. All my house was gone, all my money gone, all my cars back to the bank. Literally everything I had worked for was gone, and I went back to a small rental that I would have to sell my shit to pay the rent. And I continued selling things until as long as I could pay the rent until I ran out of things to sell. And I remember going to the landlord and I'm like, I have nothing left. I have a dirt bike to give you for the rent this month if you want this dirt bike. And he let me give him a dirt bike for that rent, right? And from that point, I go, okay, I know what I got to do. I got to go back to the car lot and I got to grind. The economy was still super tough in 2008, 2009. I mean, it was in the dirt. Who was around at that time? Who even knows what I'm talking about? Who was in business in 2008, 2009? It was a motherfucker. It was nothing like today. I went back to the car lot. Now, because I lost my car lot, okay, there's a lot of business that goes in that. I lost all those houses. I lost all my car lot, flooring lines, the whole nine. I'm $2 million in debt. I owe $2 million now. I'm broke, and I'm taking my ass back to the car lot. So the first time I started my run, at least I got to start from zero. This time I'm starting from negative 2 million. Grinding. Get back on the grind. I'm out working everybody. I'm grinding. I'm taking risk. I'm doing exactly what I meant to do again, right? It took me 10 years to pay that money off. I barely paid all my creditors in 2018. They barely got paid off, right? I'm grinding all the way. In 2014, I got my credit good enough again to buy another home. I start buying a home, right? 2014, I'm buying a home. I find an investor and I'm giving him about $5,000 a month or so to invest money for me because I didn't know stocks. I don't know stock market. This guy did. I'm like, I'll let him manage my money. I'll give him $5,000 a month while I continue doing this and try to pay off this debt. And the only thing I know how to do is sell cars. So I am just grinding. I'm working open to close, what we call bell to bell, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. There was one time I worked 63 days straight, 12-hour days, because I needed the money to get something done. So I'm grinding, right? Around 2014, I got about $100,000, $110,000 in stocks now, $120,000 I think it was in stocks. and I'm almost paid off the IRS and all my debt, but I'm in good standings with them, so they're not taking my money, right? Things are starting to look good again. I get the urge to go buy a Harley, so I went to my stock guy and I said, hey, can you get me out $10,000? I'm gonna go buy a Harley. He says, yeah, let me put the order in. And again, I didn't know stocks. I still don't know stocks. I really don't fuck with them. But he goes, let me order the money for you. I'm like, okay, cool. How long will it take? About a week. Okay, cool. I go back in a week. Hey, today the money come in yet? He's like, oh man, I don't know what's taking so long. Let me just cancel that and I'll reorder it. I'm like, all right, I'm a little bit annoyed, but I'm like, okay, fine, let's do that, right? I go back about a week later and I'm like, hey, the money come in yet? And he's like, he starts crying. And he says, Curtis, I lost everything. There's no money. He goes, I tried to commit suicide last night, but I didn't have the courage to do it. I'm broke. I'm going through a divorce. He starts laying me out on all this stuff, right? And I'm going, my heart just sunk. And I'm going, okay, second fucking time now, back to square one, starting over again. I'm like, motherfucker, right? Took a few days to get over the depression a little bit. And I said, okay, I know what I got to do. I got to grind. I got to grind. There's nothing left. Bitching, moaning, crying about this shit ain't going to work. This is 2016 when I get this news, right? I got to grind. I got to figure it out. I lost everything again. This is the second time now. Back to zero again. At least I'm not negative. I'm just back to zero, right? A couple months later, I meet the guy I work for now, the owner I work for now, right? We get to talking. He needs somebody like me, a driver, somebody who's willing to grind. Now I got 20 years experience in the car business at this point, roughly. And I need somebody like him. I got an owner that wants to expand, wants to grow, but needs somebody like me, right? Ends up being a match made in heaven. I start working for him around 38, 39. Around 40, we cut a deal where I start being a partner in the business. And it wasn't until 40 that my wealth started growing again. Now I'm almost 47 and I'm in the best place I've been. I have a lot now, right? But if I didn't continue grinding over and over and over, and the fucking losses, the L's I took over and over, if I let those depress me, crap me out, stop me from moving forward, I would have never got to the guy that the relationship built and that put me in the position I'm in now. And that's the problem, is a lot of people don't know how to handle failure, okay? Failing is a very important part of success. In the moment, it fucking sucks. It sucks. It sucks getting your ass kicked. It sucks losing your shit. There's no doubt about it. I cannot sit there and tell you during those times that I wasn't depressed when I lost all my homes and all those things, and I didn't understand what those life lessons were going to do for me later. At the moment, it sucked, right? And I can remember somebody wealthy told me, Curtis, those lessons are going to pay you tenfold later if you just keep going. I had no choice anyway. I have to keep going. There's nothing else I can do, right? But if I didn't fight through those times and take those L's on the chin and keep trucking, I would have never got to the point where I'm at now. And that took me till 40 years old before I found the right person and the right opportunity came and things started working itself out. Okay? Guys, you can't be afraid to fail. You're going to fail along the way. You can't be afraid of a loss. You're going to lose along the way. If you don't put yourself in harm's way and if you don't take the risks needed to succeed, you're never going to know what the success is like. It's not just handed to someone. You got to work hard for it. You got to fight for it. Only winners that are willing to continue fighting are going to come out on the other side. But the ones that give up when the times get tough or they get a loss or they take an L, something doesn't work out, so they throw in it. Those are the ones that just doesn't work out. Okay? If I would have let my childhood stop me from trying, if I would have latched on to dope, because everyone around me were addicts. That's all I knew was addicts. I was the outcast because I didn't use, because I saw the damage it did to my family, and I wanted no part of that. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. So that's the one thing my dad taught me, is he taught me what to do by showing me what not to do, right? But if I let any of those excuses stop me from my goals and dreams and pushing forward, And if I didn't tell so many people, you should verbalize your goals. Okay, a lot of people keep them secret. Okay, well, secret goals never fail because nobody knows. But when I tell people things and they believe me, that obligates you to fucking prove them right now. Because somebody cares about you and they believe you and they start telling somebody else, my grandson this, my grandson that. And you're like, you know what? I can't let her down now. So even the days I don't feel like doing it, I got to do it for her now because she's out there bragging about me, right? You're going to fail along the way, okay? That's part of the journey. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to take risk. And when the times get tough, you just fucking power through it, okay? Resistance overcomes resistance. You just power through it. All right, guys? Thank you for your time, man. I hope this inspires you, okay? I grew up right here. I grew up right here with you guys. I spent a lot of time in a boxing gym just like this, okay? And this is one, they gave it to me for free because they felt sorry for me. But these things are so awesome to have. And a guy like this that's willing to give his time, money, efforts to do these things, this is a wonderful experience that you're never, ever going to forget. And these teach you how to be, these just teach you so much, okay? And this is a very good experience in your life that you probably don't realize right now. But you guys are going to tell stories about this gym right here your whole fucking life. Your grandkids are going to know about this gym. That's just the way it goes. But listen, wherever you're at right now, I don't care where you're at. I've been there. Trust me. I've been with the worst of the worst. Wherever you're at, there's nothing that's going to stop you from getting to the top other than you. You just got to want it bad enough. All right? All right, guys. I'll let you guys get back to your gym boxing.
Just to add to what he's saying, a lot of you guys, like, out of 100 guys, maybe one guy's gonna be that fighter that goes pro, that does this, that. He said something earlier where he said that he kept saying it out loud. Like, some of you were here. That's the most important thing to do in your life is to keep saying what you're gonna do out loud. Not just to yourself and not in your head, but to say it to everybody. If you believe you're gonna be a world champion, you gotta say I'm gonna be a world champion. And you can't have any doubts inside your head saying, oh, I felt stupid saying that. That's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. If you say, I'm gonna open up a boxing gym one day, well, in this economy, or for that amount of money that you're gonna ask kids to pay, that you can. We make it every month, and Noe'll tell you how much times that we go through shit, and he's probably the only person I tell everything to. And but we make it, and we've made it this far. If you look at all the way around you, look at all the people that are here with you right now. Some new ones, some of you guys have been here for a while, and guess what? Before you guys were here, I had 3 more crews like that, all in life. And so when you see me at a birthday party every weekend, that's why. Because there's a lot of kids